Dang.
Oh, is that good? What is that?
It's that good.
Sody pop.
No, it's just weird, red liquid.
I like cheerwine. That's kind of weird red liquid.
Cheerwine is good. Yeah.
We
All
don't
right,
get
everybody.
that this far north.
Prepare to converge yourself into Dungeons and Dragons, or specifically Swords and Wizardry, legally distinct.
Swords and Dragons.
It is the 9th day of the 9th month. Winter is looming in the distance, dark-tide and the bitter chill it brings beginning to loom. But before then, you have places to be. One of your number has been struck ill by a frightening curse. After your raid on the household of one Patrus Onui, a servant of the wicked demon Scramgy, you made off with a large sum of treasure, enough opium, silk, and gold to keep you fed, housed, in high quality for perhaps the rest of your days. But the chests were trapped, sealed by a curse laid down by Scramgy himself. And though most of you were able to shrug off those curses and hold fast to your true nature, poor Ufkell, who just keeps getting weirder, now carries a bit of Scramgy's taint within himself.
Are you implying that I was weird before, or
A little bit, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
like, none of you guys are normal, but like, Ufkell had that shit on. The rest of you did not have that shit on, but Ufkell had that shit on.
I'm a completely normal human.
Suffice to say, Ufkell now finds himself grappling with appetites more associated with beasts than men. He consulted the dark sage Ulman, praying for an assistance, for he felt that he had become too unclean to turn to the powers of the light for assistance. Perhaps he had been right. Ulman made him a deal, one which should let Ufkell keep his hard-won gold, but which may expose him to greater perils still. And let me check the exact deal I made so I do not misphrase it, because if I do that again, I will be sad. Ulman will accept as alternative payment a physical specimen, whole and largely intact, of one of the mutant beasts of Yin. If you don't know how to get there, he advised Ulman, ask your more worldly comrades. It was clear to Ufkell that there was a playful cruelty afoot in this proposed deal, where Ulman was being paid in amusement at Ufkell's trials as much as he is being paid in scientific inquiry. And so, racked by cravings and yearning for the oblivion peace of opium, to quench them, Ufkell turned to his comrades and begged for help. We find you in the Bristleback Inn, where the well-to-do and holy of the peninsula converge in their time off to speak of holy things and labor. This is a place of men in whom the faith of light is strong, and whom the strange outsider King Ufkell now grapples with a greater burden than any mere foreign birth. Tell us, Ufkell, what do you say?
well, I don't know, my yin from my yang, but I've got a hunger, my friends. I've tried to tell you, and we better do something quick. It's an unholy hunger. It scares me. It feels like my insides are coming out.
I worried about this, but I thought we had more time.
Just to be clear, your insides have not yet come out, right?
It feels like it.
It may take us some time to find the solution, so we better get on it before it comes to a head.
Is
Right,
there
so Ulf-
nothing that could be done by the church?
Don't take me to Bloombad. No, I can't face him.
I fear the holiness of the light may simply dissolve away the curse, taking Ufkell with it. Ullman just said, just like a specimen from Yin, just like we just grab something and get out, right? As easy as that will be,
Specific
obviously.
Specimen. Is that right?
Physical specimen of one of the mutant beasts of Yin.
Is it a specific kind with a specific name?
It could refer to a lot of things.
It makes me think how, makes me think how things get changed, and maybe something went over there and stayed for good, because it's better off over there on that side.
It's a realm that I've been to before, but I try to spend as little time there as possible. And I try to go as shallowly as possible as well, to merely skirt it on my route from one part of the earth to another. But
Well, I would delve into the bowels of Yin to save the bowels of Ufkell.
But these bowels are not to be taken lightly, I'll tell you.
Now, a brief aside. Today, Magnus is not able to attend, but I want to check. Ross, are you here attending as a player character, or did you just want to see the horror that's about to unfold?
May I play?
Yeah, of course. So I would have told you by now if I didn't want you here.
Excellent.
All right. Trying to remember. Glorpert. Yes, Glorpert. Is Glorpert here? Or
Yeah.
did he retire?
No. He's not retired. He's a level 3 fighter with 5,373 XP, and he's got
A winning smile.
he's very handsome. He's handsome, and
After he recovered from his conditions.
he's got a magic +1 two-handed sword that he still doesn't know why it's magical or whatever, but it is. And then he uses a halberd and bow, so he's a fighter. Yeah. Oh, and the Horn of Valhalla,
Yes.
of note.
A stalwart fellow.
We must do something quickly, my friends. I'm about to chew off someone's hand. I'm not joking.
see,
Give me that goblin. Didn't someone? Wasn't that you, Pruderi?
More is
It'd be a goblin.
learning up from the goblin. The goblin is spoken for.
That
We
You could have some of my share of the opium.
How do you feel about cow? Is that still good? We don't have to
It
cook it if you don't want.
That doesn't seem tantalizing enough. I tell you, this is a raw, sickening hunger. It requires that I eat something of intelligence.
Bite the head off a bat like Ozzy Osbourne.
It's not smart enough.
Depends on the bat.
Yeah.
It does depend on the bat. That's true. We don't have any smart bats on hand.
Lord, even if we could find a way into this place, Ufkell, I'm sorry, not Ufkell, Ullman is, and I look over to Perderi, I look back.
He's not trustworthy, but he's reliable, if that makes sense. At least that's as I understand it. I'm new here.
He's reliable. He seems foul to me. And besides that, where would we even go to get there? Does anyone even know? I've heard of stories, but these are stories when I was a child. And even in those stories, anyone that goes to the other place comes back and ages and dies, or a terrible curse falls on them.
I have never before escorted a human.
Nonetheless, Lord Ufkell, I will follow you. If you find a door into the other place, and we should all die there, I will die with you.
Thank you, Glorpert. Just keep your distance. I'm telling you, this is a ravenous, unnatural hunger.
It sounds most debilitating.
Would you feel safer with your hands bound?
They're mouth bound.
It might be better for you if you lashed me. Yes.
I go around town and ask around to see if anybody has heard of anyone having gone into this place, or because Glorpert was not a hound, so he doesn't know anything about. And I don't think we ever went into the Otherworld, did we? I don't think so.
I don't believe so either.
So he is absolutely he doesn't know about this. So unless somebody else knows, yeah.
Character has traveled there, or traveled from there, but okay. I'll let the GM give the exposition.
So there is someone in town who you know has been there, who was mentioned prior in. Let's see, Ah, yes. I'm trying to remember the name of the man who was.
Lord Flanagan.
Nah. Yes, Lord Flanagan.
Lord Flanagan, the Fly.
Yes. And Bill.
Bill.
After the so if you'll turn your gaze to the roleplay chat, Ross has kindly shared a story of a rumor, and this rumor can be followed up on if you wish to go find old Bill.
Oh my! Travel to Arain.
Oh God, is he that far away?
He's in Ireland.
Oh God, we're not doing that.
That's too far.
I mean,
Richard
I'm
did
down.
not prepare Ireland.
That's exciting. You didn't prepare Ireland? Everything
No,
from Scotland to Ireland?
It'd be a bit of a challenge to get there and back in a week.
I can do a hex map, but only if it's 192 miles across hex.
That's probably about right, actually. The place is astonishingly small. No offense to any British or UK or Irish listeners out there. The whole
It
place.
amazes me how much distance they can fit into so little land.
You guys have a lot of myths and not very big islands, so
Place is old.
yeah, we could probably could make it there. That was my reasoning for why people could sail in a week to Lioness, because I was like, it's not very far.
True.
But yes,
Well, we should see if Flanagan has anything to say about it while we're just in town.
I've tried mapping some of our distances to what we think of as real locations, and kind of run out of space on the map real quick. Like going from Edinburgh, like 80 miles east, you're just gonna run out island real quick, for example.
yeah,
So, never mind.
yeah, and this is near that narrow portion of the island near Inverness, where the sea comes in. So it's, it's narrow. Probably getting to Ireland via sea would be the rough part.
Indeed. Or you have the river. Takes you this magical river that goes from one end of the continent to the other.
I propose that it
The fjords.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
It probably encounters like an inland lake that is itself being fed and then drains in two directions, and that's one way that it would be possible to do riverine travel from one coast to another.
A certain lock.
Yeah, they have those. I forgot about that. So you do have. All right. So if nothing else, you do have one person in the party who knows how to get there. Though how he will operate on that knowledge is up to you, or rather up to him.
Is that you, Zalotin?
Yeah, that's me.
So you know how to get there.
I have gotten there. I've never taken a human there, and I'm a little concerned about the effort, but I could open a door. Possibly. We might need to go back into the dungeon, however, near where you met me the first time.
That in of itself is quite a journey.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of somewhere more nearby. Might need to ask around a little bit in character.
I look over to Ufkell. We can only hope he lasts long enough.
Alright, well, I will get on that. I start, via narrative summary, my character is circling around town, looking for my character will be a little cagey about precisely what he's looking for, but he is asking various leading questions to various characters. And if we start running lower on time, I'll have to start getting less subtle about it.
Okay.
Do I roll for this?
I'll roll for it.
How obvious is this to the rest of us that you're being circumspect and
You'd probably
cagey?
figure it out pretty quick, because otherwise I'd just tell you, right?
Yeah.
But I have reasons that I'm supposed to be a little cautious about throwing the doors wide to all.
The higher being that is with us, my friends, has never hidden anything from us and always speaks openly, except now, when he asks at the door to this place.
Is it
We
also
spend-
possible? I'm sorry, but what about commune? Is that a possible avenue?
I mean, it's isn't it Father Bloombad who has the ability to commune? Is that not? So you would need to go ask him to
Yeah.
do that. Can you tell us how to go into hell, please? Can you help us with that?
We need to go there and bring back one of the demons.
You know, because we have like a chaos infected friend. You know, no big. Let's just if you could help us, thanks.
Not
Okay.
naming any names, but somebody that we know might be a little bit cursed.
Also,
Don't do
Father
that, Father.
Bloombad can like detect lies and evil and stuff, so it's it's a problem. We probably ought to get out of town if we're gonna be about this kind of business anyway.
Yeah, I think. Oh gosh, I don't think anybody here knows many of the hounds that can go ask Flanagan, huh? Has anybody here adventured with Flanagan?
Yes.
Would you want to
Briefly.
go ask Flanagan about how we might find a gate?
Sure. He'll ask for a recounting of Flanagan's journeys. The only gate Perderi's familiar with is the one to Lioness. Right?
Oh yeah, and you probably don't even know this, but it goes to Franck actually.
Yeah. So yeah, this would be an entirely different gate than Perderi knows. So yeah, you'd have to go to ask about it.
Like a gate through the Otherworld to Franck?
In 2 days of searching, Zolotin finds along the southern coast of Kayden's Rest, a simple house with a simple garden. And therein he has a quiet conversation with the proprietor of the home and arranges for them to be absent for a period of time.
We need
The house...
Sorry.
Say again?
No, please.
Yeah,
Sorry.
The house is small, mud brick, daub and wattle, a pit house, close enough to the river that a man can rise from his bed, walk 30 paces, draw from his side his fishing rod, and begin his daily work. And against the side of that house, there is, when you arrive there, a tall wall, shrouded in ivy, and shadowed by a overarching tree. Ivy has crawled across this house, marked it, and there is a door on the side of the house when you arrive, peering through the ivy. On one side, the door should open straight into the home. It does not. It opens into a garden, stretching out into the distance, with pale flowers and the faint sound of bird song from other shores. Tell me
friends.
now,
I have a
who
door.
gathers at the door?
I do.
Such enthusiasm.
Such urgency, of course.
Got nothing to lose.
Which of your retainers do you bring with you?
I bring Dobby. He won't judge me.
All right.
Not as much.
It's the toughest decision AJ has to make all week.
Right. How is Moore's study going to learn Goblin?
Pretty well. I think he thinks he'll have it in a week or two.
Okay. Moore will stay behind.
All right.
And Nisel will guard the door, this gate.
Nisel will guard it with his life.
But I think I'm going to bring Pasling, Owenin, and do we think we'll need that thief?
Trying to remember their name.
I don't remember.
Wasn't
But
Sister Miriam.
Remember
That was
the
someone else.
dying one.
the thief will guard the door as well. Whatever.
Okay.
Keep it easy. So Pasling and Onan will come with.
Sure. Right. In the meantime, see if you can figure out what that thief's name and deal was, because I've completely forgotten.
It was said in session and not in text, so I
In
think
that case,
it's
come up
possible.
with a new. We'll just have to come up with a new name for him.
All
The
right.
only thieves that are listed in the list are Leofstan and Manakan, but those are different characters.
Alrighty. Glorpert, are you bringing Balark?
His courage failed last time. No.
Alrighty. Finbar, are you bringing Miram?
No.
Sorry, Miriam. Alright.
Hmm.
Small gang today.
Well, we are
This
trying
is
to keep things a little low profile, a little sneaky.
Yeah.
This is true.
Well, road might help more than it hurts there.
Who will keep time for this expedition?
I can try to.
Is mapping a reasonable, meaningful task? Because I could try taking time if not. But, well, you already got a volunteer.
You can map, but be a little sloppy with this one. Don't try to keep things to scale.
All right.
You must wonder how the time even works over there. In
Or
the
how the
other
space even
world.
works over there.
We may just be groping blindly in a world we do not understand.
What else is new?
True.
Yeah, I guess that is kind of what we've been doing.
Oh, to hunt this door. Maybe something nice will happen.
Wonder what's in this chest. Maybe something nice will happen.
Ah, my bones!
My face.
My skin!
All of a sudden, my guts feel wiggly.
Ugh.
Alright.
Well, my insides want to become outsides. All right.
Now, what time of day do you want to arrive at the portal?
I'm not sure. I guess whenever. I'm trying to think instead. I'm trying to think of like when makes the most sense for it to be the soonest possible time for this to have happened.
I
Because we're
think.
just trying to motor.
I mean, the thing is that we have a patriarch of this town that stands at in the mists of morning, watching as every boat comes in and can see the hearts of every man. We are criminals right now. We have to hope to try to operate outside of what we had hoped to protect this whole time. I can say for Glorpert that all of these events up till now have kind of influenced him in this direction, that maybe he's a little less faithful than he used to be. Maybe he thinks things need to change. And I mean, just the idea that we wouldn't reveal this to Father Bloombad just a few weeks ago would have been unacceptable to him.
In my own
So
mind.
so
the
night.
magic.
Lorpert,
In
look
my-
at these teeth. He would know. He would he would smell
I
my
know.
my chaos.
I know, Lord. I know.
In my own mind, the magic will work a little better in sort of the liminal period of the sunset.
Yeah.
So that's what
I
I'm
was
envisioning right now.
I
The
was
other
leaning
thing I
towards
was-
dawn or dusk as well.
The other thing I was thinking would be the witching hour, between 1 and 2 a.m.
Hmm.
Where-
Under many circumstances, I would agree, but I feel the arboreal nature of this.
Right.
The sunset is when it makes most sense. But that's just my
So,
opinion.
sunset then. I agree.
I agree.
Hey,
The diurnal portal.
Richard, what precautions do we have to take? Like, how is Ufkell handling the unholy appetite and so forth?
Gracious.
Roll a saving throw.
Hmm.
I love being able to just answer every question with that.
Feels like that's been your answer a lot recently, unfortunately.
Mhm.
Oh!
He has it
20.
on lock. There is a hunger in him, but he's been hungry before. He has, hasn't he? Ufkell's a man of the north. Ufkell's dealt with deprivation and hunger. He's been separated from his people before. He's been on the sea before, when the rations had gone bad and he had to wait and wait and wait and hope for the coast to come back, and with it, the salvation of satiation. This isn't the worst it's been.
I've eaten frog legs.
Maybe that was the worst it's been. But perhaps that contributed to it. You have some experience by now in grappling with strange things happening to you. You've got some will behind you. Not bottomless, but it's a deep well. Anyway, you arrive at the liminal moment of sunset, and that from the door spills forth. Wait. Midnight darkness. The world beyond, it's a different time than yours. The sky beyond the portal is deep and dark and blue, with a pale and luminous moon hanging high in the sky, and thin clouds. It's a different time, a different place. Winding garden paths stretch before you. Your comrades hold the gate behind you and promise to keep prying eyes away. They'll wait as long as they have to. In fact, let me, what's their name again? Niesel rests his hand on Pradaria's shoulder, then lowers his hand, grips his arm, says, I will wait as long as I have to. Understand? I will be here when you return.
I appreciate it greatly. Praderi cups him on the shoulder and shakes his hand and passes him a note
He
that I
accepts
just
it.
DM'd you about.
He nods soberly. I'll see you soon. Good luck.
May the light shine bright.
Brighter than in there. He looks in the sunset light, he looks at the darkness beyond and frowns. So do you go through?
Yes. I lead the way.
You pass through the gate. I'm gonna turn down the music just a bit. The darkened above you, starlight and moonlight. Around you, birdsong, the scent of flowers, meandering paths. The paths are made in a fashion that's unfamiliar to you. It was clearly made by a wealthy and powerful people. The paths beneath you are flat or cobblestone, polished almost smooth, and the mortar between them is colorless and clean. The lawns around you are neatly trimmed like a soldier's haircut. The flower bushes keep themselves in tidy rows, phalanxes. All around you, hedges rise, high hedges, blocking off most of the area around you. You cannot see the horizon from here. You can only see the hedge. Through the winding paths you go, keeping track of your destination, mindful of where you are. For a time, nothing of note. About 10 minutes pass. You find something noteworthy. You pass to the end of the passage you've been exploring and step out into a broad open field. It is some 80 feet by 80 feet across, and you can tell because it's neatly subdivided into 8 squares by 8 squares, alternating patches of tidy green grass and polished black stone. On the far
Chessboard.
end, far from you, the opposite corner, there are a pair of paths, archways leading deeper into the gardens. And those archways are marked by corpses, which stand impaled on the fencing that flank the paths onward. There are 5 dead. They are some 80 feet away from you now.
What's the condition of the corpses? Are they decayed or rotted, or are they in good condition recent?
It looks recent,
They're human.
as far as you can tell. You've seen enough things in your career that are not quite human that you can't be completely certain from 80 feet away.
And they look like Englishmen.
Yes.
What did you say, Zlatan? Chests? What did you say?
It's a game from the distant southeast.
Game? Oh, I don't know.
It's played on a board with 8 by 8 squares. It reminds me a little bit of this. It's meant to simulate 2 armies fighting one another. So be on your guard obviously, I don't have to tell you that. Meanwhile, Zolatan is peeking at the sky and the moon and trying to orient northwest, southeast.
These are not stars you know well. In your experience, your track record for navigating by the stars in this place is not good.
Understood. I'll keep trying to peek at it and see if I can figure it out.
If it's just a... Oh, go ahead.
Is this patch, the alternating patterns, is that between us and the corpses?
It encompasses the entirety of the field. This is effectively a 80 foot by 80 foot playing field implanted into the middle of a large hedge maze.
Should we circumnavigate it and go find another path, or should we cross? Is this a game that must be played?
You're not sure?
I think it would be wise to try to play by the rules the Otherworld has set out for us.
It seems the consequence of losing is dire.
I think the consequence of cheating may be worse. We're not playing by our rules anyway.
I never suggested cheating. Just
All right.
I don't know that if there's no other way that we've found. Better the death you see coming, I suppose.
I turned to Zlatan. As far as I know, he's the only person here that knows what this is.
Well, the pieces haven't assembled. It's possible that how many corpses do we see from here?
5. And there are no playing pieces present.
Right.
If there were, this would probably be a different situation.
What are our numbers again?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me review. In addition to your
Let's do it.
retainers, which number 3, Yonan, Paslin, and Dobby.
So there's 8 of
There
us.
are 8 of you.
That's enough for one row. But I might be reading too far into this. There are of course other games that I don't even know about. So,
Checkers.
I don't want to find out how the kinging works in this.
I
All
don't know that one.
more questions about the corpses to try to figure out what happened here. What directions did the spears enter them, and did they look like adventurers?
They do strike you as adventurers from a
Damn.
distance.
Okay.
It looks like you can't tell exactly how they died, but you doubt that they were killed by the impaling, because they are each impaled in the same fashion, skewered through the lower back and out the upper chest.
Oh, they were like impaled, like a corpse, not so much.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, they were slain and then
Please.
piped.
Yes.
Okay. Ufkell, are you the caller?
I think I'm the caller.
Yeah, Zolo's the caller this time.
That makes sense, actually. Okay. I propose I am willing, and we'll have to trade these risks of just stepping forward to see what happens first, to see if something assembles, attacks, moves, and if nothing moves by half the board, But I'm willing to move.
All right.
I agree with the notion that trying to scheme our way around this will only anger whoever is behind it. Therefore, we must try to play by whatever rules reveal themselves.
Not that it wasn't a good idea.
I mean, indeed, there is no way to circumvent it. We see the only way onward is through it, across it.
Well, if you were truly daring, or even moderately daring, you could grip firmly to the hedges at the very edge of the. You could grip firmly to the hedges on the very edge of the clearing, and keep your feet underneath them and off of the board proper, and then just sort of scoot all the way across like that, using the hedges for balance.
All right, Laura Croft.
Do you want to Lara Croft your way across it?
I personally would vote for sending Glorpert ahead, and then maybe somebody else will go ahead afterwards.
Well, if it's about putting your feet on it, I don't have any feet.
This is part of why he uses the place to the degree that he does, which is that he's good at running away from things that might otherwise imperil him.
Alright, well.
Anyway, Glorpert.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Is anyone going?
I'm willing to take point again. I've led you here. It's my responsibility.
Okay.
I will cautiously float ahead above the grass, cautious not to touch any of it, since that seems to be perhaps what activates it, and just advance and see what I can see in the moonlight.
That's true. It is dim moonlight. No wonder you can't tell exactly what's going on with the bodies in the far end. Do you have a source of light? I don't think you do. I know the others do, but I don't think that Zolotin is carrying one.
No, but
He does have good night vision.
Yes, and it is moonlight. What phase of the moon? Shit, sorry, that's putting on point. There's some moonlight. Let's move on.
No, I can randomly generate that. That's not hard to do. That's an extremely relevant question.
Okay.
It's like a half quart. It's like a third full. It's pretty dark, but it's not a new moon.
Well, that's a decent amount. That's a decent amount of light if there's no clouds. Like it's not a full moon, but
there's thin cloud cover, but you can see. Anyway, the important thing, which I must communicate immediately, is that nothing horrible happens to Zolotin as he passes over the chessboard. Nothing leaps from the grass underneath to tear him down, and no, he is not drawn down into the black squares by some unholy vacuum. He is able to approach the bodies in the far end with little enough to do. He discovers that the bodies are 5 men, explorers from the looks of things, men of Britain. One of them there's a proper description here. One moment. One of the men is clad. There's a man who's clad in leather armor and a longbow. A man bearing a crossbow and with a steel bear trap dangling from his hip. A man with a long dagger and a garrote. A man with a... Where's this one?
Ranger,
Bearing a
rogue,
staff and a robe.
spellcaster.
He does... they do appear to have some equipment on them if you're feeling daring.
Not that daring.
I take the longbow, and then I search the bodies.
Oh,
Unless
So
you don't want me
just-
to.
So you go ahead. It's up to you. I don't feel like as party caller I can just tell everyone no, you don't do that.
Oh, you could totally do that, and I'll listen.
Absolutely
So-
can.
I will say,
I
Roger
choose
that.
not to, though.
If
No.
I would usually ignore him if he did that.
Okay.
So you do walk across all the 8 squares and just do that.
Yes, he walks across the 8 squares, and this is also key. Nothing bad happens to Glorpert either, as far as you can tell, and that includes Glorpert. As far as he can tell, he's fine. The bodies are very not fine. They are just at the beginning, just at the rigor mortis stage of things.
Okay.
They look like they were bludgeoned to death
Oof.
by vast fists.
Big pawns. Maybe not. I might be overlooking it. This could be a game that I have never heard of and doesn't exist in our world.
I'm just giggling at the pun. Anyway, here's what you find on the bodies. One of them is definitely a magician. He has a book which contains prose and formulae, which means absolutely nothing to Glorpert. However, it is large, solid, and held in a waxed leather carrying case, so it's
I bet
probably
Magnus
valuable.
would appreciate that.
Yes, likely so.
Not our primary purpose here, but might as well take it with us.
Okay.
Okay.
So what was... So, hang on a sec. The one with the bear trap is probably... It seems kind of rangery. The one with the garrote seems like a rogue. The one with the staff is a spellcaster. Does the staff itself seem magical? And I forgot the first one. A fighter, I think?
Crossbow guy,
Right, the
Let's
crossbow guy. And then there was a fifth.
a hunter with a
Yeah, one of
Yeah,
them is the fifth one has chainmail. You find a pike on the floor next to him. Along
Bodiless
with
pike, I assume.
Like,
I don't. What do you? What?
Hey, there's nothing impaled on it.
No. Yes, there is
Okay.
nothing impaled on the pike. It is just clearly a piece of discarded equipment, along with a heavy shovel and a shield.
I mean, if Glorpert's taking the longbow, I kind of want that bear trap.
Take it. Note
I'll
it's on
take
your
the
character sheet.
spell book and the longbow. I got it.
Alrighty.
Leifson's not with us, correct?
Correct.
how about that staff? Does that seem interesting?
Perdere will grab the shovel.
Maybe
The
just
staff definitely looks interesting.
The staff doesn't obviously seem magical. None of
Okay.
you guys are super well equipped to check, as none of you are men of Arcana. But you've hung out around men of Arcana long enough to know that they usually tend to have more decoration on their sticks than this. This appears to just be a walking staff, suitable for, like, it's sturdy enough that you could use it for combat, but it doesn't appear to have any obvious magical traits.
If there's not currently sparks, fire, or lightning shooting out of it, not magical.
Got great news. It doesn't have any of that, so you can save yourself the encumbrance.
We should keep moving before we draw the attention of something in this place.
Yes, we
Yes.
made it to the end. Let's just keep going.
There are two paths forward, one which leads to the north and one which leads to the east, both of which are flanked by the corpses. Which one do you want to take?
You say it one more time.
I don't see any. One seems as good as the next. I'm just going to arbitrarily choose north if no one has a better idea. These are all, and all of this is walled in by hedges, right?
Yes. Do you want to go up and look over them? Because I assume that's the thing you might want to do.
I do. Part of me feels like something bad's going to happen if I do it.
Okay. Roll a saving throw. No, I'm kidding. However,
Okay. Go on.
I'm checking a thing. Around you, expansively into the distance, stretch gardens, hedge mazes. The architecture is peculiar. It's clearly the work of a culture with more time and more leisure than the ones you're used to. The decorations, the architecture, they've put a lot of effort into very delicate seeming architectural frivolities. Gazebos and trellis work archways. Very subtle works of stretched and twisted bronze and iron. And you notice that on the very distant horizon, there is no horizon at all. Instead, there is just a general sensation of things blurring away in a way that makes you kind of uncomfortable to look at. And things shift subtly. Not where you're looking at them, but you look from one place to another and then back again. Sometimes you don't recognize what you see.
But all I see is, but it's all hedges. It's just a lattice work of hedges extending into infinity, a blurry, blue-hazed infinity of distant haze of
There are structures
light,
too.
of air.
Buildings
Oh.
sometimes. You see on occasion what looks like edifices of marble. Big fountains.
Does anything seem to correlate even approximately to north versus east?
You're not really sure which the way those are anymore. You don't feel comfortable in the sky. You feel
I duck back down.
This is like a fancy garden, like at the estate of Louis the 16th or something.
that's a good mental model. There's
The
a lot
formal
more.
gardens
Only the French could come up with something like this.
of devious.
The French. Yeah, this has a whiff of their francophone perfidy.
A
The
Norman
horrid
character.
French did this.
A Norman
This
character.
explains so much about them.
They have the
They're
taint
in-
of this other world.
They're in league with these unnatural forces.
But they're going to invade in about 200 years.
I could have just gone and picked up a Frenchman and brought him to Ulman.
Okay.
Oh, gracious.
All right.
I relay to my comrades the vertiginous nature of the hedge maze and how it seems to stretch into infinity.
Do you think it's an illusion, Zolotan?
I'm not sure how to draw the line between what's illusion and what's real in this place. But to imagine someone having built all of this with their own hands is far more terrifying than the idea that it is a large illusion.
It feels fishy. It shifts. It seems unnatural. Maybe you should
Or it's all
look
unnatural.
over there. Maybe there's something hiding. Maybe
Oh, I'm sure of it. But where?
We shouldn't tarry. We must kill this beast and bring it back quickly.
Yeah.
What if
I've gained no information about north versus east, so I say we proceed north.
perhaps one of us should tie off to another and someone go ahead and see if they can return? And if nothing is at the end of that rope, Lord Ufkell, I am sorry. It may be best you stay in this place.
That seems a little dramatic.
Yeah.
That
No.
seems a little extreme.
No,
I'm ready to give up.
really? I mean, like, what? Or
I mean,
he
That's dramatic.
Better-
guy. This is consistent with his usual behavior.
he could. I don't know. Will he survive if he goes back to the overworld? He'll turn into a monster. I suppose we don't know.
I
But
have to agree, but it's a little early to be.
I got better.
Better to face such a fate before Father Bloombad and the cleansing of the lights than to be abandoned.
Worst case scenario, he
My character,
he
Zoltan
decurses you
says
and
that.
you
All
die
right.
heroically.
Very well.
Zoltan's like, "There's nothing to eat here," and then slowly looks at the corpses and then doesn't say anything.
Well, someone else with feet, you're up. Let's tie
I
you
can
off.
go ahead. I'm ready for it.
I'm out. Sorry, I got no
All right.
feet.
I'm all feet, baby.
I
Let's
have
do
no.
it.
I have no rope. Someone else will have to use rope. I don't
I
have
have
any.
rope.
Okay, I hold the rope. I
Okay,
belay you.
So, Finbar is taking point through the north passageway.
Yeah, I'm gonna tie it off.
I mean,
On,
it's just
on
a
my
passageway.
belt.
It's not like a discrete threshold portal. Is that correct?
Correct.
I think we should just
Still.
help him out.
Like it's just a path, but like it's just a path. Like
My thinking test is not just to time off, but to see if they can come back, or if there's some sort of thing here we don't know, and then it's like, oh God, we're pulling on the rope, he can't get back, or whatever. I don't know what would happen, but If we need to know that we can get back, I guess is what I'm saying. Also, speaking of getting back, what about the way we came in?
That's about 10 minutes back. You want to go check?
To see if it's still there.
I mean, what's it look like from here across the field?
Well, you guys are currently in an 80 foot by 80 foot enclosed space within the hedge maze. Across the field, you can still see the entranceway you came through.
Okay.
The entrance after the entranceway, there's a lot more winding garden paths that are flanked by fairly large hedges. The amount of space around the path is usually much more generous than you might be imagining. You should don't imagine, you're walking through a hedge maze looming over you on either side. Imagine broad, expansive thoroughfares full of garden work,
Yeah.
and those are flanked by the very tall hedges you can't see over.
Okay. I had first written our entryway as a hedge maze, and I realize now it's more. I should write formal gardens.
Formal gardens is a better summary of it. Yes. I
Speed.
apologize for the.
Oh no, don't apologize. This is
Speed.
a confounding place.
Speed is security, and we should just get this thing, get out of here, and
I propose that we simply, with all respect, abandon the idea of tying off and just proceed north and just hope we can
fair
get
enough.
back. We have
Let's
no
do it.
choice but to just hope, to just assume that things will be as we found them.
One quick question: are you going to loosen these bonds in case we get into a fracas? Or, I mean, I was tempted, mightily tempted, to steal a foot or something from those bodies back there. I'm terribly ravenous.
How
I would-
crackish.
I would go as far as to say I would protect you with my life, but maybe remain bound.
There's only 8 of us. I don't think we can afford to give up one eighth of our sword.
All the same then.
Is there any way to wield?
Trail off is, I think, of a different version of sword hand.
Is there a way to wield gold spear with my hands tied?
We'll get to that in a second, because as you are discussing this, there is a development, which should be punctuated by Zolotin. Could you roll me a d6?
Oh, okay, sure. Give me a second.
Roll the good d6.
Where is?
4.
That's good. That's a nice number to roll.
I literally can't tell if you're being serious about that or not.
It is a good number to roll.
Okay.
Excuse
higher
me,
than 3.
just a moment
Even.
here. I gotta sketch something real fast.
That's okay. I need more bourbon.
Problems that we can solve.
We fix the issues that we have in our control, eh? In this case, lack of bourbon.
This is true.
I had to. We did our first session of a Swords and Wizardry game on Thursday that I'm refereeing, and they rolled a random encounter. And man, the stress of trying to put one of those together and put it on the battle map impromptu and not leave too much dead air. I feel for you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey,
I've gotten
Richard.
pretty good at it, I think, but it does require some quick improvisation.
Well, while our guys are deliberating, would Ufkell have time to run back and grab that crossbow from back there?
Yeah, easy peasy.
Because I figure he might be able to just pull the trigger.
I would agree. Let me just move some of these guys.
Leave one bolt for yourself.
Since Perderi was the one to suggest he be bound, Perderi will be walking with Ufkell, making sure he's okay, and will spend his first action freeing him should it be needed.
You're such a nice guy like that. Dazzling, Dobby, and where is Owenin? Owenin, you're in here somewhere. You were in here somewhere. Where are you at?
Or maybe Odin could do it.
Oh no, I'm looking at Owenin. Okay. Okay, and that's the whole gang. I have fun here. I've got something appropriate for this somewhere. I'm going to use an image for this thing you're about to encounter, which isn't entirely appropriate. I'm going to ask you to bear with me on this.
No, there's a bear with us. My apologies.
More or less. Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, that's too spiky.
It is indeed.
I'm unhappy
As
with the
you-
number of spikes we're encountering.
As you are discussing your intentions, and how deep to travel, a creature shuffles out from the western passageway. Sorry, was it west? It was eastern passageway. It is enormous. It is a hedgehog. And when I say hedgehog, I mean to clarify that this is something between a golem and a plant, a animated piece of topiary, thickly bristled with long, pollarded spikes. It regards you briefly, with eyes that are sculpted out of blooming rose bushes, such that dark black roses form its pupils. It blinks languidly, and its long back and the spears on its back all bristle out. It approaches you.
Does it have paws that look like they could pummel?
It does. Its body looks big enough to simply flatten whatever's in front of it.
I'm going to shoot it.
Okay. We will now roll initiative. Maestro, comedy type music.
Okay.
You are not surprised. That's what that D4 was about. Sorry, that's what that D6 where you rolled a 4 was about. Zolatan, roll me a D6.
Fixing the volume,
Crazy
sorry.
if this thing surprised us.
Tie.
We play enough Helldivers to be well aware how quiet very large things can be. In the event of a tie, the house wins. In this case, the house is you. First, does any of you do? The creature appears. It's difficult to understand the creature's motivation, but it's moving towards you in a purposeful and intentional way. It has some designs on you, and you don't know what they are.
Charger.
You have the. Say again.
I said charger in the voice I used. Never mind. Moving
Oh
on.
yes. It's coming right at you. Are any of you guys going to cast magic? And by any of you guys, I mean pretty much just Zolatan.
It's coming right for us.
It is.
No, Onan will focus on unbinding Ufkell.
Alrighty.
How big is it? I mean, it's big, but how big?
You know what? That's an extremely important question, and I thank you for asking it. So first, imagine a prize bull, like a big bull, the sort of bull that a farmer pats on the flank, and it sounds like he's hitting a big rock.
Like a blue ribbon bull.
Blue ribbon bull. Absolute unit. Now give that guy about an extra foot in every direction.
Oh, gracious.
Now stick a bunch of spikes in his back, like pikes. Now, give it a really cute face made out of flowers and leaves. Angry face.
Friends. Oh, no.
Angry face.
Oh, understood. I'm trying to think if there's anything clever I could do.
So magic, Horn of Valhalla, and is it bronze? I'm sorry, I haven't been here in a while.
It's silver. 2d4, 2 hit die guys show up, if I remember correctly.
Okay, then
It's on. Hang on a second. Treasure map. I wrote down all the rules for it because it was one of those things where I kind of had to. Okay, 1 per day. You can winded. You declare at the same time as casting spells. At the end of the round, during the spellcasting phase, the berserkers appear. So they attack next turn if you summon them now.
Right, I do that.
All right. Toot.
Awooga.
My first thought is to try to just make it seem as if more hedges just arise out of the center line of the board and cut it off from us. But it probably has a connection to the hedges and would disbelieve that. I don't know.
Think quickly, my friend.
Finbar would want to try to get in between it and his friends.
Alrighty. So Finbar is taking point. Perderi, I imagine you're also getting on the front line? Yoanin is untying Ufkell.
Yes. Pasling will take the second rank behind Perderi.
Long pointy spear out. Brother Dobby is going to get behind Finbar, ready to lay down healing magic. And Glorpert is tooting his toot. Sultan,
It's gonna cross whatever barrier I would try to apply, so I'm just gonna declare a magic missile.
Alrighty. So we've moved. No one's shooting.
Right, oh, no.
Would Pasling be able to throw oil?
Yes.
Okay, Pasling will throw oil.
Would it be possible for Eonin to untie Ufkell and then Ufkell shoots in the same turn?
Yeah, turns are long. I'm down with that.
Let's do that then.
If you guys have to deal with the silliness of moving 40 feet per minute, you guys get to enjoy the benefits of a solid minute of time to do things.
Okay.
All right, John, you can take your shot.
Excellent. Well, it was worth a shot.
Always is.
That actually
Would
might
you apply any
hit,
bonuses to that?
because that's +2 for your level.
'Cause
Do you
that's
have
a
any
nat
dexterity
9.
mod? I can't remember.
No, I don't.
All right. The arrow, and you throw arrows, or you're shooting the crossbow. You fire
Yeah.
the crossbow. It whistles deep into the leaf-clad body of the thing, and the leaves rustle, but it doesn't appear to hit anything important. At least it doesn't break stride, like the aforementioned charger. Just didn't have enough armor penetration. Just keeps coming. All right.
I need
Pasling, roll to hit. We're giving an
Okay.
attack roll with their usual.
First, you Dodge brand
Uh,
automobiles.
Pasling's normal attack. Sorry. All right. Or it would be a ranged attack, right?
Mhm.
Okay, ignore or well, whatever.
All right.
It's a melee attack.
Can't remember. Need to remember the exact damage that a flaming thing.
1d4.
All right, roll 1d4. Let's see how much damage that does.
Let's see, it does 1d4 points of damage with a successful hit, and 1 more point of damage per round for the next 2 rounds.
Okay. So you learn something important, which is that this creature is fairly flammable.
Hmm.
The flaming oil splashes across it, and the outer layer of its leaves begin to curl and burn. And silently, it writhes and thrashes, attempts to put itself out, suddenly much more concerned with the fire than with the rest of you.
Good.
Do that again.
Yeah. Should Praderi throw oil as well?
I think Praderi moved instead. Like you can't.
Yeah.
We moved. You did melee. You braced for it to approach. Instead of approaching and attacking, it's freaking out and trying to spend its whole action putting itself out.
Reasonable reaction.
Mhm.
Reasonable crash out.
All right, Test. Are you going roll for your laser eyes, your magic missile?
They shall hit automatically. And I'm drawing all. Okay, that's 3, 4, 3, 10 points of damage.
Alrighty.
Not bad.
The beast recoils. A flame blasted. A deep gouge is cut through the leaves that make up its exterior. The few which haven't been burned have a deep cut blasted through them, exposing the empty space behind the leaves of its head, revealing that its actual core is much farther in. It turns and it runs as fast as it can.
It has nothing we want. Let it go.
Okay.
Correct.
Wait, don't we want a beast from
Yes.
the other world?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
one of the beasts? I assumed that this was merely an obstacle.
I mean, it's a beast from the other world.
Yeah.
Beast
I mean,
is
Omen did
beast.
specify.
It seems
Very
to
well,
me like a
let's
mutant.
Kill it! Kill it!
Yeah,
Change life.
charge!
What's wrong?
All right, roll initiative.
Everyone's like, let it go. And Ufkell's like, do not let it go.
Oh, I rolled poorly. We can still chase it though.
All right, it flees to the east. Do you pursue?
Yes.
Yes!
Yes.
My horse.
All right, turn off the music for a second because we are shifting to a new thing.
We need.
I apologize. I was thinking flora instead of fauna. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, this is kind of both, if you think about it.
True.
Yeah.
You
First it
sprint,
was a Charger, now it's a white Bronco. It's all sorts of cars.
you sprint pell-mell after it.
White
Where will it
elephant.
take you? As you run, the walls of the hedge maze rise higher around you and narrow in deeper. The beast leaves a trail of burnt, smoldering leaves behind it. Eventually, as it runs, so I'm gonna have to read this thing I just generated in a little bit of detail for a moment.
I am willing to part ways from the party, so to speak, like try to deliberately outpace them to see if I can like shoot it and slow it up.
You will. Just want to make sure I handle this correctly.
Like I said, I wished I had my horse.
That would have been a good idea.
Something tells me beasts of the real world aren't super interested in exploring the other world.
That's pretty good. This is coming together nicely.
So what if it pooped in the nice gardens and then we make a terrible enemy of someone powerful?
And when it turns tail to run, Richard, would we get a free shot? Or...
It hadn't made it into melee.
I was gonna say, I didn't
Yes,
think we
that
were
was the
close
main
enough to
concern.
it.
Okay.
So maybe the fire worked a little too well.
No, we definitely don't want to completely incinerate it.
Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah,
let
I
us
do-
know. It revealed
Here's what
that it
happens. Here is the major thing which is going to happen. You start running in pursuit of this thing. You're able to keep pace, albeit barely. The more heavily armored among you are hard pressed to keep up. Your party is going to start to split apart a bit. But that's the first question. Are you going to move at the pace of your slowest man? Or are you going to try and rove ahead?
I will rove ahead.
If it is leaving burned markings in the brush where it passes, I vote that we stay together.
This is an awkward thing for the party caller to do, but I think the rest of you should stick together and I should try to race after it and see if I can slow it down.
I mean, I'm
Agreed.
also at movement speed 4.
I think that all of you should try to stick together, but I will try to go range ahead and slow it down. Then all
Okay.
of you should hopefully be able to keep up soon, to catch
Yeah.
up soon.
You rush through the maze. Zolotson takes point, far ahead. As he rushes, he notices that the hedge maze walls are going higher and higher around him until eventually they enclose completely, blotting out the sun. Then,
Moon. Wait,
sorry,
did it become
blotting
light?
out the moon. The moon. It's night. It is still night. It didn't become day. Thank you for calling me on that. Blotting out the moon. It becomes very dark, too dark to easily see. But ahead of him, he can see the light of the moon. He follows it. What he sees is uncomfortable because the ground is gone.
Oh.
In front of him, the hedge stretches over the floor, goes down across the floor. And then, so for a while, he is running across,
So it's a tunnel.
through a tunnel of topiary. And ahead of him, the floor of the tunnel opens up into the sky. And below him, he can see the moon.
So we've
Spanning across the pits of the yawning gulf of the sky are long strands of silk, like that of a caterpillar. Much like the caterpillar, he sees contentedly devouring what remains of the topiary.
Oh.
The caterpillar that he is encountering is suspended in a web of silk, thoroughly adhered to the floor above it. the hedgehog has also been entangled in the silk, and the caterpillar is contentedly devouring it like a silkworm over a mulberry bush. For the moment, it appears disinterested in you. The caterpillar is fat. It's got skin like old cracked leather. It's a good 12 feet long. Its mouth parts are uncomfortable to look at, like...
Like many caterpillars.
Yes. You know, the big, chunky, shield-like components occasionally split open to reveal a mass of tiny little feelers that pluck and snatch and grab like a birthday party for little children, all plunging their hands into the candy bowl at the same time, except the candy bowl is the carcass of this creature you just tangled with.
Like a piñata.
Yeah. Your party is about 5 minutes, is a little bit to your rear. Are you going to wait for them to catch up with you? Or are you going to meddle in the situation in some fashion?
I would like to hide for now, and I just want to look at it and get a sense of whether there is indeed some discrete core that would please Ullman, and whether it is about to be devoured, or if I'm already completely too late and the caterpillar is therefore our new prey.
What do you remember about what Ullman requested?
I don't think I was there for that.
You weren't, but what did Ufkell say about it in terms of what was required?
Why don't you update me on that, John?
Am I allowed, or?
Emphatic yes.
So it needs to be a fairly intact specimen of a mutated beast.
It already looks like it might not be intact at all.
Intact would be a generous description.
It also, well, it seems like with that creature we might not have been able to get it intact at all, because the nature of it is that the vines were all sort of a projection of some central body.
Well, also you lit it on fire.
Yeah. I don't know what we could have done to not hurt it, but okay. It sounds like we have to go after this caterpillar instead. Therefore, I'm going to hunker down. We've already lost our opportunity, but we presented with a new one, so I'm going to wait for the rest of the party.
I don't think we can make it to you, can we?
You can't.
There's no floor.
Well, I've stopped before the floor ceased to exist.
My misunderstanding.
Yes.
All right.
So the rest of the party goes through the same disorienting process I described earlier, as the roof closes up over the hedge maze, and then the floor becomes effectively identical to the roof, and then in front of you you can see the floor open up into the sky, which well, if this were a horror game, I'd start telling you to roll sanity checks, but this isn't. That said, feel free to roleplay yourselves freaking out as you please.
Perderi stands as if he's on a ship at sea, and he doesn't have his sea legs.
You haven't gotten my void legs yet.
All right, so are we there now? Like we see?
You are there. You are right on the edge of the yawning gulf. In front of you, there is the caterpillar, suspended, comfortable in its silken webbing, as it munches on your erstwhile prey. Beyond the caterpillar, lit from below by the moon, the hedge maze continues to extend beyond the caterpillar, and appears to continue to be upside down for some time.
Does the silk appear to be attached to anything, or is it just a sort of webbing?
The silk is attached to the opposite walls of the hedge, which in turn are attached to the ground above you.
And is it taut, or is it like droopy?
It appears to be bearing the caterpillar's weight, as well as that of the corpse of the topiary.
Okay, and then one last thing. Does the appearance in some way seem metallic in nature?
Of the caterpillar?
Or of the silk?
No.
Okay.
It does not.
Does this caterpillar count as a mutated beast, or is it just a thing of Zolotn? What do you think? Is this a native?
I'm looking at Richard's face in the mic in the camera, trying to get
Oh,
some.
sorry.
hints of this,
You'll have
because I
to
don't
ask
have
actual
any.
questions.
Oh,
I've got all kinds of. Sorry.
What would my character
probably-
think of this?
This is clearly a beast of yin, and I don't know if you'd call it a mutant, but you're not
It's
totally
mutant.
sure what a mutant is as a category. It's
Yeah,
entirely possible
I'm-
Ullman was being facetious.
It ain't
I think
natural.
mutant simply refer. Well, I mean, it's a different place. It is foreign to all of us, but it's not necessarily any more or less natural than any other place. It's just very different.
The first thing I'm willing to call a mutant. I mean, a moving topiary bush that tries to eat people, but a big fat caterpillar, does that count? I don't know.
That's a very
think-
big caterpillar.
My understanding is
Okay.
Ullman already possesses the means to fix you. He just wants a curiosity of sorts. That would be my theory.
We
I
also
think if we show
probably
up with
have
a
a bunch of
12-foot
berserkers following with us at this point,
Oh,
I think.
that's true. You do.
They're not going to be quiet about that, are they?
No, they're not. The berserkers. So the rest of you guys, thank you for reminding me of that, because this brings us great opportunity for adventure and hilarity. Here is what is going to happen. First, I'm going to roll 2d4 to find out how many berserkers appear.
I didn't realize he got the horn blow off.
Oh, thank you. No, he tooted. There was tooting.
I smelled it all the way over here.
The berserkers were conjured. As before, they appear like projections of men through stained glass, like as though, like looking at a stained glass image of a man at high noon, full light. Not quite real, but something more than real. And certainly weirder than men, because when they encounter the sky plunging below them and the earth clinging to the roof above, they don't break stride. They leap at that caterpillar and grab it, pulling hand axes from their sides like raiders of old, and prepare to cue this thing and put this creature down. So I'm afraid we are already in combat once again.
Reasonable crash out.
All right. I'm trying to think of anything I could do to prevent it from falling out of our grasp. Is gravity pulling the same direction? What direction are they being pulled?
They are being pulled down. They may fall into the sky at any moment.
I am not strong enough to catch all of that.
I'd rather
Well,
they
try,
fortunately,
though.
the berserkers are disposable. The rest of you, not so much.
I could at least
For now,
try to catch it, and then if it drags me into the abyss, I could just let go.
That is true, potentially.
Maybe.
Roll
Are
initiative.
there? While he's rolling, are there any with the way that the caterpillar is suspended? Does Perderi think that there is a reasonable way that we could cut any of the silk to swing the caterpillar closer to us?
That's a good question. Let me think briefly about that. And by think, I mean outsource all my thinking. The dice.
Open your mind's eye.
Yes, if you hit exactly the right spot, you think you can. It'll be a very difficult shot. You'd have to either climb out there and cut it in person, or you would have to make a almost miraculous arrow shot.
Hey, Zolot.
We'll come back to
You
that
can
in a minute.
How urgent is this silk plan? I'm not sure if I fully understand your intentions. If you just want some silk, we can try to gather it later.
Guys. Feral berserkers diving into the void after this caterpillar. The situation is developing whether you like it or not.
Yep.
All right. Dear Ross, light of my life, beautiful man who brings all sorts of good OSR gaming into my life. Roll five attack rolls as these guys dive straight out into the void to try and mount on the caterpillar, or else like clamber across the silk to it. All right, one of them falls into the pit. He's gone. He just falls into the sky.
A caterpillar beast from the other world.
All right, two of them miss, but
Yeah, that wasn't that
Kling-
great.
That wasn't bad. I don't know when they became French. That's kind of a
They're
development.
supposed to be German, which is
It's the other world.
I got distinct Arnie vibes.
That sounded very Austrian to me.
It sounded like
Yeah.
which is
Where is a good?
They were
heard
Swiss.
Conan.
How about that?
Yeah.
Sacre bleu.
From the Alps.
All right.
That's what you get when you fight a stranger in the Alps.
Alrighty. This one represents no one in particular. Generic token. Name. Okay, so 2 of the Zerkers.
What that reference?
I am now reusing the hedgehog icon token to be the giant caterpillar.
I realize I've
grounds
drawn
that I-
basically an Urquan,
Okay.
but you can't see that
Yalabov-
yet.
Yalabovsky.
Yeah, you should visualize an Urquan. That's actually a pretty good way to think about it.
And does it have tentacles?
It does have tentacles fluttering out of its mouth.
Oh, out of its mouth. Oh, that's sort of a multi-tongue situation.
Yes, it's gross. 2 of the berserkers land square hits with their hand axes, so roll 2d6. The creature is quite solid and quite big, but it's within their power to injure it.
Well, it's solid, you know what I'm saying?
7.
Oh, yoy.
Been a tough night for puns.
It truly is. The berserkers lay into it, and it immediately retaliates, attacking with its own tendrils.
You.
See how many dice it's. See how much bonus it has.
Okay, what's their armor class?
I'm sorry. I should have.
Actually, I'm not sure if the game ever specifies. It describes them as berserkers, which is a specific
Monster.
entry. Yeah, which is an entry in the Swords and Wizardry book. So it's probably just monsters, monster descriptions.
Armor class 12.
All right, in that case, 2 of them will hit.
Thanks. I
So I will
find
need.
it.
Ooh.
I need you to roll a couple of saving throws for the berserkers.
Okay.
So they apparently do 1d8 damage.
Oh, in that case, we'll bump that damage up by a point each. So they wound it grievously. It's more than half down. Where is it just berserker?
It's
were those
human,
last two
comma,
d20s for?
berserker.
Oh, human. Yeah, I was looking
That's
for men.
okay. Yeah, I couldn't find it.
What were those last 2 d20s for?
Okay.
Saving
throw.
throws.
Oh, of course.
Both of which blow it. So here's what happens. The summoned berserkers tremble as the tendrils curl into them, and fall limp. The caterpillar discards them and leaves them to fall into the world below.
Ooh.
The full implications of this are unclear, but it's clear that the touch of those tendrils is not safe.
Hey, weird question for both Ross and Richard.
Yes.
Finbar may have experienced a very similar type of tendrils in Eric Brania. I don't know, Richard, or Ross, if you know what this is and can relate it back to what Finbar had to deal with.
Yeah,
Because-
but yes, but Richard also is like, it's pretty effed, you know. Like, and Richard's presenting it. Yeah, this is awful. Yeah.
I say we get out of here because this is not working.
Yeah. If it's what I'm thinking it is, it's a paralytic poison.
Yeah. And then we just fall into the void. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
I-
Which
Well,
means
hang
a
on.
deadly poison.
My
How-
plan, insofar as I am able to control this at all, would be to draw it towards us so that if any of us are paralyzed, we don't fall into the abyss. We just fall down.
Good plan.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be interested in pursuing us already, and if it's not, maybe I could try conjuring some things from the very hungry caterpillar. See if it's interested in that. You like eating giant strawberries?
Okay.
Richard, you said the berserkers did heavy damage to it.
Yes. It looks more than half dead.
Well, it might
Yeah.
be It might be more interested in safety than food in that case, but I could try to draw it towards us.
Well,
Because
currently
I
it's going after the 2 berserkers, which were.
I have no ability to control them.
Yep.
Okay, so wait. 2 of them. One of them fell into the pit. 2 of them made it to them. 2 of them didn't make it to the caterpillar. The two that closed to the caterpillar in melee wounded it. The caterpillar used its tendrils upon them. They went limp, and it discarded them into the sky. Then it advanced forward to the other two, bit one of them, and did superficial damage with its teeth, or rather with its mouth parts.
Okay.
Are we at a safe
Mandible.
distance? Like, are we?
You are approximately 20 feet away from the thing, so you're not exactly safe, but
That's not
you are not in melee reach of it right now.
Does it
you can
move?
ret-
Did it move fast?
Not really. You're pretty sure you could outpace it.
Let's
you might be-
position ourselves in such a way that if it closes to melee, then it will have some form of ground or at least hedge underneath it. So then if we kill it, it won't fall away from us. Does that make sense?
That's assuming it even makes it. The berserkers may finish it off.
That's true, but I have no ability to plan around that. I can't control them.
You want to just wait to see what
So-
you want to just let the berserkers play out and see how that goes
Yeah,
first?
do their
Yeah,
thing.
let's fall back to such a point that if it does beat the remaining berserkers, then it will hopefully advance on us, and then if we kill it, then it won't fall.
Well,
That's the only
I
thing
can
we can
take
plan.
point because I think I have the best armor and saving throw of us right now.
Okay, but yeah, all of us, let's
pretty
fall
good
back to the
armor.
point where it has ground underneath it if it reaches
Well,
us.
Does do we think we could swing it closer? Would that be something
Explain.
we would want to do? Like 'cause with the cutting of the web.
Yeah,
to
grab the
swing it
silk.
closer. Yeah,
So
could
Zola
Try to get
and
the
gra-
silk
we
underneath
could
it.
move it? We could potentially move it closer if we could hit the correct web.
Sorry, move what closer to what?
We could swing the entire creature closer to us.
Oh. So like we want to cut part of its web so that the sort of like cutting
Yeah.
the web of a spider and then the rest of
Yeah.
the web just swings to one side.
Yeah, like
Ah.
Frederi points at a
Hmm.
specific part of web. Like if we fray it there, then it should move closer to us, and then. But I don't know. With it the way it's currently positioned, does it seem like it would fall where it's
I would
lying?
like Zolatin follows along with the plan and looks at the various anchor points and tries to determine if it would actually swing it somewhere that we could get it under solid or semi-solid ground. Because that's the important part here. If it
It's
just swings
possible,
towards
but
us and then plummets into the sky, it's no use.
It's sort of a 50-50 shot. Like, it's hard to be sure. Like, you can definitely see a way that it could happen that way, but like, you've done enough weird physics games in your life to know that things can play out in ways unexpected.
50-50 is not good enough. I vote we stick with the plan of trying to lure it towards us.
Well,
Okay.
first off, the only person who has control over what the berserkers do is Glorpert.
Oh, I can tell them what to do.
I mean,
I
you
didn't
can
know we could
try.
even do that. I assumed they just
Yeah,
did
I
whatever
thought
they
were
wanted.
You can
berserkers.
suggest stuff for them to do.
Perhaps shout for them to just drag it this way.
Yeah, that's what I would tell them to do. Yeah.
All right.
Hold
they
the
will-
beast.
They will attempt to wrestle the thing. The two survivors. We'll see if they can grab it and get lucky. So they are each,
Woden demands it.
okay. The
Let's
berserkers
try hunt.
are 2 hit die creatures, I believe. No, they're 1 hit die creatures. But these are 2 hit die. These fight as fighter 2.
They're
Two hit-
2 hit. They attack with a +2 modifier.
Yes, it's yes. So that's 1d20 plus 2 for each of them. Unfortunately, neither of them are able to come to grips with the creature. It's too big, too writhy, and it's too much more at ease grappling over the void than they are. They have no fear of death at all, but they also just don't have a lot of experience in jungle gyms. The caterpillar does, and the caterpillar has decided that it would really rather be rid of these irritants as soon as possible before they kill him. All right. So they have a saving throw of 17. So 2 saving throws for 1. So one of them fails, and the other one also fails. So the 2 berserkers are paralyzed by its tendrils, and they plummet, and its tendrils lash them aside, tossing them, discarding them as uninteresting to it, as it attempts to go back to its meal.
How far away is it? I have a grappling hook.
It's about 20. It's about 20 feet of void.
That sounds like it sounds like you could grapple it.
I do too.
Zolatan is really
Oh,
gun
nice.
shy about getting caught in a web after what happened last week.
I'm gonna have to read the synopsis to.
Long story
Well, he got
short,
caught in a web.
for the benefit of Ross and for the basically there was a darkness spell and a web spell, and then a very hasty advance directly into the web, and look.
It would
before
have
you
been
leave.
hilarious if you could see, but it was inside darkness, so you couldn't. So his
All I heard
dignity
was-
is intact.
The noise was good though. The noise was really good.
Can I
Okay.
try to swing my grappling hook
You may.
into the hide of the beast?
Well, we're gonna have to roll initiative for this next round of combat, but yes,
Okay,
We
should I
should
roll that now?
invest in harpoons.
yes, please roll initiative.
Good idea. 3.
All right, the
looks
beast
like you
goes
win.
first. It regards you, considering. It decides not to approach yet. It continues to munch on the. It continues to munch on the hedgehog, giving you an opportunity to re-seize the initiative.
Okay. Try
Do we
the.
wanna- Are we sure we
ahead.
want to do this?
We need to make sure it doesn't fall. I don't even honestly
we
know
need-
if we're gonna be able to get this thing back, how big it is. But
Well,
you
we
know,
can at least try.
12
Yeah.
feet long.
Oh,
Yeah.
12
Cole's
feet long
worth
is
it.
not that big.
yeah,
Like, it's not an Urquan.
I've seen 10-foot gators.
Like, it's big, but I think all of us together, we could carry it.
Yeah.
If we win.
All right.
So probably will, you know.
All right.
But it looks
So I
like
think
it's
the
hurting.
grappling hook idea is a good idea.
Okay. If you are going to attack with a grappling hook, first note that you have a grappling hook on your sheet,
I have one.
and then roll a 1d20. Okay. What's your THACO, what's your base attack modifier again? You're a modifier 4?
I have a +3.
Okay.
So 15.
So
Assuming that
effectively-
it counts as a weapon.
Okay.
Paco or Thaco?
To hit
It's
armor
obsolete
class
is what it
0.
is. Okay, and Ufkell was also. Yeah, he rolled. Okay, Ufkell's grappling hook gets entangled in the webbing. Perdarius flies true and hooks into one of the wounds created by the berserkers before they all plummeted into the sky below.
Ooh.
Okay. The creature gives a irritated grunt and bites down on the rope and gives it a firm tug.
Oh.
Secure him! Secure him!
Set the hook.
Okay.
Yeah, rush to the rope and help.
Yeah, we don't want him to get pulled into the void.
You are now at the end of round 3. You are now in a game of tug of war against a 12 foot long, 4 foot tall caterpillar.
Over a
Bobby-
void of Lovecraftian nothingness. Yeah.
It's not that Lovecraftian. It's just the sky. You see it every time you look up.
This is that
How
made
often
me
do we
feel
see when
worse
we
in
look
2
down?
ways now. Yeah.
It's certainly vertiginous, but I warned you about that earlier.
I'm just saying. You've seen it before. You've seen it lots of times. It's not that weird.
Very familiar.
Get over it.
It's the
Do we
blue, some fluffy
think-
clouds, it's just down.
It's dark. It's dark. It's moon.
Oh, right,
moon,
yeah.
some stars,
Okay.
some fluffy clouds.
Oh, there's stars down there. That's a little Lovecraftian.
Isn't it? Anyway, AJ, what were you saying?
I was wondering if we felt secure enough in our hold of it that we would be comfortable slaying it now with arrows.
Not really. You probably
think we
want to
should
have
try
a
to get our
second
way
grappling
first.
hook on it.
Okay.
If this doesn't
So-
work, I have one last plan, by the way.
Okay.
Alright.
An illusion. I came up with an illusion idea.
Then I guess we're tugging. Owanen will light a torch for the purpose of if it can web us, to burn away such web.
Alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
Those of you who are on the rope, roll a d20 if you are helping to pull the rope.
Okay.
We had a strength
Very-
modifier.
Pasling. Oof. Okay.
Okay.
I coil around it and I pull 2.
Okay.
Yeah, how many
Oh,
people
I
can
roll
be
6.
on
That's
this?
no good.
It's a full length
As
of rope.
many as you want to.
I'll pull on it.
Okay. So that's
I got 20.
Hey, nat 20.
Ooh.
all right.
I'm glad I
Zoltan.
asked if I could pull on it.
Okay. Zoltan, Glorper, and ham. And actually, basically, honestly, it looks like basically everybody passed. So everyone roll your hit dice in d6. And hope you don't
Okay.
roll
Oh,
comedically
gosh.
low. And I will hope that I don't roll comedically high.
I think that's
Yay! I could do this.
Hasling.
Oh wait, D6 or D4?
d6.
Okay, some people are rolling D4.
Hmm.
I did roll D4. You were correct, sir.
And you got
It was pretty good too.
extreme.
Regardless, here's what happens. You spend combat round 5 in a game of tug of war with this horrible creature. It is pulled off of the webbing, but it does not fall into the earth below. Sorry, it does not fall into the sky below. Rather, it shifts its grip to the hedges on its side, such that you are dragging it towards you as it climbs along the wall towards you. It attempts to pull back, gripping with its teeth, but you're continuing to draw it closer to you until eventually it has solid ground beneath it.
Good.
Can
Eve, you
Ufkell,
salty
It's working.
dogs.
It's working.
can Ufkell fire?
No, not until the next turn.
Because he wasn't grabbing the rope.
I thought he rolled a 9.
Dobby.
But-
Dobby.
Oh yeah. All right. Yes, you may fire then.
Okay.
Make sure to select down at the bottom where it says "as character" in order to like cast yourself as whoever's performing the action. It makes it more clear.
Well, I
Ah,
thought should be labeled for
Hmm.
Dobby.
It was actually.
Oh,
Right.
oh, I just see it says John Q on
Attack.
mine.
Ooh, good shot. Ooh.
Nice.
Richard seems excited.
It's max damage. It's
Okay.
max damage. The thing takes an arrow straight to the head, embedding deep in what must be vital structures. It staggers, dazed a moment, reeling on the edge of the pit. Its movements momentarily uncoordinated. Its tendrils lash out in a wild flash.
Yes.
Is it-
Yes.
Eve.
Oh,
Is it dying?
do I get a second shot?
Not with a crossbow, right?
No.
Yeah,
This is my
No.
this is my short bow.
Oh, my
But
bad.
your arms are bound though, right? Wasn't? Oh
No.
no, Dabaku. Yeah. Okay. Yes, you
Oh,
can. So
no,
go
no,
ahead and roll your
yeah.
second shot.
All right. Yeah.
It
Max
does it.
damage, then min damage.
Glad
The
we
creature
untied him.
collapses in a grisly heap,
Hey.
like a
Outstanding.
gigantic. It's like a big, awful, wet sausage. It
Nice.
smells
Chief.
Same.
bad. It smells like a compost pile.
Oh.
It is uncomfortably soft.
It is uncomfortably soft. No living creature this large should be this soft.
We're gonna need a tarp to get this home.
Oh, well, you don't have one.
We have many
Well,
shoulders.
We do have we do have a lot of silk and a lot of vines.
I got a shield. You can
Yeah,
slide it.
that helps too.
Prevent
Okay,
it from
so
dragging
now
along the
I'm
ground.
willing to. With that concluded, I am willing to start trying to perform shenanigans with regards to the silk. I understood the desire before, but I didn't want to lose the catch.
Okay.
So, gosh, it's gonna be so sticky though.
The sacrifice you're willing to make.
Would you like a knife?
I would like a knife.
Nah,
You
just
can-
buy it. You'll be fine.
Scale breaker
Blah, blah, blah,
is offered +1 dagger.
Okay. Do you have a non-magic dagger? I don't want to actually drop this thing.
He has a hand axe.
That could work. Actually, no, that won't work. Surely someone has a normal dagger.
Fresh out.